Okay, so what is next with some
So the next one is hiring an attorney is the topic. So people are unaware of they that an attorney, they either think an attorney is required to file for divorce,
Mhm.
or they think the other alternative is that they can just do it themselves. And I bring this up because at least, I don't know, a couple times a week I'll have someone who found me and we'll do a consultation and say, oh, I didn't even know a service like this exists or was possible or
Mm.
something along those lines. So the misunderstanding on this is you don't need an attorney, and you don't have to. While you can do it yourself, you don't have to. And there are folks like me that handle the paperwork, for you on behalf of them, both parties, and the court. And one thing I want to bring up on that as well is I have been talking to other people in this industry are very not very sharing. They don't like they won't like they're not very good at collaborating or helping each other out. I get calls all the time from people that have questions because I have a lot of content on YouTube, and they'll call or email me and say, I have a question, can you help me with this, which I always do. But others do not collaborate too well. They're like they hold on to, like, they think they have the secret, or there's not enough business to go around, which there obviously is.
Mm.
um, but I kind of forgot what direction I was going with this. But
Well, the
oh,
need for an attorney.
yeah, and so I've been talking to some of these, and I only work with clients where I'm working with both spouses and they're 100% amicable. I won't take them on if there's even a single disagreement or one party's not going to participate. I've talked to some now that they have a complete different approach where they will only work with one party and
Oh,
not both parties.
interesting.
And yeah, and I thought that was interesting because, first of all, you're basically forcing the other spouse to go somewhere else, even if they are in agreement. Now you have two different people giving two different sets of advice on what the paperwork needs to be done to get. I think that just overly complicates it. And that's why I don't like taking cases where I'm not working with both. And I don't charge double for working with both spouses. But I think these people are operating like attorneys would, where they're kind
Mm.
of, you know, quasi quote unquote representing them in essence. And I think that's a dangerous road to go down, because then you're talking about having to give, whether you mean to or not, advice on procedure or, community
Yeah.
property laws and things like that. So,
Yeah, I
um,
think that opens up the can of worms to have
mhm,
more issues too. It's gonna, okay, that person may or may not like plant a seed of a question, and then the spouse is like, okay, well, that's not a concern for me. And suddenly it's if they charge by the hour or however they charge, it's just
yeah,
it's not a healthy way to proceed. I like the way you do this where you're working with both of them and there's no secrets, there's no unknowns, there's no uncertainty. This is the way it is. It's black and white. It's super simple, and that's just the way it is. I mean, like you said, it's a friendly divorce, and we're just moving in our different directions, and let's do the paperwork and move on. And that's a nice, clean way to do it.
yeah. The and that kind of dovetails into what I do as a document preparation. Um, and then going to why I want to work with both spouses is that we can't give legal advice. We're not attorneys. We're not, um, we're not handling contested cases. We don't represent you. We basically are facilitating the process by doing the paperwork for you, and intervening between you and the court and the
Mm-hmm.
process. And going back to people that are doing what I do but only handle one spouse, they're having to give some amount of advice. And I think that's where people are going to get themselves into hot water,
Yeah.
is because if you are doing that, you are basically um, it's called the unlawful practice of law. And the bar association can literally take away your, it's not a license, it's basically a registration we have to get in California. But I mean, to take away your ability to do what you do in your livelihood. So
And yeah, shut his business down. That's treading very, very tricky waters.
yeah.